don't want to break the internet with my awesomeness. Just, yeah, that'd be awesome. No, it's the video and my voice. It's my screen and my voice. You can't see me, but, huh? I know. You need to see me. I'm that good. This whole thing, I'm going to have to cut this whole first part here. No one cares about what's going on right here. I'm already recording. Here we go. So, we have y equals a times b, x minus h plus k. We're going to break it down. This is the basic part. Okay, so that's like the 2 to the x part. It's always there. Okay? If there's an a in front, that thing in front, it could either be positive or it could be negative. If it's a positive number out in front, what do you think that's going to make my graph do? If it's positive, it goes up. Okay, it's the rocket ship. It's going to take off. All right? If it were a negative thing out in front, it would do what? It would go down. Okay, it would crash. Yeah, well, I don't want to give the nickname away. Huh? No, I've got a good nickname for it. Just wait for it. You'll see. It's great. Okay, the minus h part here, it's next to my x. It's next to my x. That's the big key on this. If I had the square root of x minus 4, it would be a teapot graph. What would the minus 4 do to your graph? It would go right. Yeah, we just said it. We all knew it. We would go to the right. Because it's next to my x, it would make it go left or right. But what else do we have to think? Not only does it go left or right, it does what? Opposite. It opens the opposite. So, if whatever's next to my x up there, we're going to shift left or right, and we're going to do the opposite. We'll get to it. Think about like the square root graph. If it said, like we were just talking about. X minus 3. Which way would x minus 3 move my graph? To the right 3. It says minus, but we really know to go that way. That's what I mean by opposite. No, you're good. Yep. The plus k, the thing added on out there, what's that going to do? Go shift it up or down. It's going to shift up or down. And do I do the opposite? No, I just do what it says. I shift up or down and then I do what it says. The other really important thing about this, whatever your number out there for this graph is going to be your horizontal asymptote. Okay, it's your horizontal asymptote at whatever that number is. Y equals that number. So the first one, if we were to graph this very first one, it says 2 to the x. Is there any number added right there? So what's my y equals? What's my horizontal asymptote? 0. It's like plus 0. So that tells me, just like we did in bell work, horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So since it's a horizontal asymptote, we're going to go to y equals 0, and we're going to draw a dashed line. Do I ever touch that line? No. Never touch it. Never cross it. I'll get really close to it, but not do anything else. Okay? Once you've made that line, I'm going to make a point, 1 unit, either above it or below the line. Is my graph going to be up or is it going to be down? Up. Because it's a positive 2, I know it's going to go up. So I'm going to make a dot, 1 unit above that line. Okay? Just because. Because anything to the 0 power is 1. Don't worry about it. But you go 1 above. Okay, if I went up 1 here, if I moved over 1, how many would I go up that time? 2, because I'm doubling. Remember, because of that 2 right there, it tells me I'm doubling. So I go over here, I go up 2. If I went out again, how many would I go up this time? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go 8. You don't have to make it perfect. Get a couple, just that way you get the basic idea. What's my shape going to be? Rocket ship. We start real flat. And once we get going, we hit that point, and we take off. Rocket ship going up. No, I didn't watch it. The Red Bull jump from space. That's the opposite. He was jumping. We're going lifting off. All right. Here we go. Stay back here. Stay back here. We'll get to it. Domain is next. We're going to talk about domain. We have talked about domain before. Does domain mean x or y? Domain is x. Remember the question. We did domain on a test before. We asked ourselves a question every time we did domain. Is it a fraction or is it a square root? This problem right here, 2 to the x. Is it a fraction? No, not a fraction. Is it a square root? No, not a square root. Not a fraction, not a square root. So if it's neither of those, what was my domain? Oh yeah, we said it right. That's the first time all day. It is all real numbers. It is all real numbers. It's the problems we're doing isn't. We've done it before. You're gonna have to remember back to it, but every problem we're doing today, domain is all real numbers. Here's what that means. I can plug in any x I want, and I'd get an answer. I can do 2 to the 5th power. I can do 2 to the 1,000th power. I can do 2 to the negative 500th power. I'll get an answer. It might not be pretty, but I can get it. Okay, so any number I can plug in. Range means y. What y values do I use? Do I use every y value here? No. My y is going to be what? Yep, what did you say, Mariah? Y greater than 0. Perfect. We can't touch it, so it can't be equal to. And I'm above that line. So Mariah says my answer is going to be y has to be bigger than, greater than 0. Because all my graphs above that line. Not always greater than, because sometimes we'll go below the line. Okay, but it will be whatever your horizontal asymptote, that'll be the point you use. Questions on that?